All right, everybody. Hello, my fellow Americans. My name's Carl Lester Anthony Jr., and as you may or may not know, I am running for your president of these United States for 2020. As an independent, let's show both these parties what it's all about. Now, this particular video that I'm doing, I've already done my standard video for all Americans, but I am an African American male growing up in America, so of course my fellow African Americans, my ADOS family, my international family, they're going to say, hey, you're an African American. What are you going to do specifically to solve the issues in the African American community? So I actually have a plan. That's right. So we're going to get into it. I call it the ADOS Black Plan. You know what I mean? I haven't made it really a cool name, but if you don't know what ADOS is, that is American Descendants of Slavery. Some may refer to as African Descendants of Slavery. And let's just say there's been a little problems over the years. We all know about it. We all know what it is. So now I think I have a solution. And I have several ways to approach it. One from a more holistic sociological government level. Then we have a standard level that is more intricate on a city, state-based level for other people. And then we have a personal assessment adjustment that I would like to happen also that will assist. So I'm going to go over my social stuff, my mid-range stuff, and then the personal situations. And we're going to see how this all melds together to help the African American community, because that's my goal. All right? Great. So let's get started. So the first part, if I get in as president, as I should get in, because why would you vote for anybody but me? But as I do get in, one of the things I'm going to do on a governmental level is what I call the Urban Reinvestment Program. So basically, you give businesses certain tax cuts for doing business. Well, one of the things I want to have, which is part of my Urban Reinvestment Program, is I want to give businesses a zero tax cut to build in low-income areas. And not only just build there. No, don't just come and build your place and then hire a bunch of people from somewhere else. No. The requirement with my program is that they build in that area and then they hire in that area. Get everybody in there. So they hire within about, I'd say, a 20 to 30 block radius. So they can build a great Jordan factory or some other great factory there. They get their great tax break, but no. You're not going to hire some people from way out. You got to hire the people from the area you built it in. So the intention is to motivate businesses to build in low-income areas, which, a lot of my people do live in, and then hire the people that they build around. So instead of the area getting gentrified and pushing everyone there out, they actually keep everyone there because now they have a job in the area that pays them good enough money to stay there and better that neighborhood. So that's one of the factors, one of my early moves, the Urban Reinvestment Program, number one on the list. So next on the list, education. Now this is something I'm going to do nationally, but I think this is, the reason I made it is because of what I saw working in Philly, working with the kids in AmeriCorps, and we need to reorganize education. We got a problem. We're not teaching the kids from all the right levels, and we have to redo how we educate the children. Now, one thing I want to add to low investment areas, and really, this could be all schools, because every kid needs to know this. I want to add business classes in the early elementary years, teaching kids how to invest, start businesses, and move forward, build stock, and understand the whole process by maybe 5th, 6th grade. About how to start their own businesses, invest in this country, and build. We need to start making builders. Not just people that work, but we need builders. And I think that'll really help the African American community because it's something that, as an African American, we really did not get as children or from our family, because they just didn't know about stocks. They didn't know about investing. They didn't know about how the business processes work. So I think if we add that to education, it'll really help the children and everybody else in general around the country. So that's another thing. So next up, for my sisters on the healthcare, because the African American woman, they start the most businesses. 70% of African American homes are ran by women. 60% of all American homes of any color are single parent homes, most likely run by women. So that means women are working, they're starting businesses, they're out there putting in a lot of heavy stuff, right? And they're like, oh my God, well, I want to have kids now so I can do it. And then they have to fight between having children and building for those same children. So what I want to add, which is going to be part of my single payer healthcare move, where we all have healthcare, is that I'm going to freeze eggs for women as part of that plan at no cost. So those women that go out and they're corporate Avengers and they have their business administration degrees and they're building companies and hiring people, they don't got to worry about the kid situation. Because down the road, they can defreeze an egg and have a child anytime they want. I think that'll take a lot of stress off the African American female and give her a chance to go out there and do something without fear of losing something behind because they think they might lose their chance to have children. And freezing eggs will help with that and give black women a better chance. And that is from our strong black sisters out there. I got you, girl. Don't you worry about it. So next up on the list for us is prison reform. As you guys know, the wonderful Clintons and Joe Biden and a bunch of reverends from our own community convinced them to make those wonderful crime policies in the 90s. We all have someone right now that we probably know that is locked up for 20, 30 years over a couple of crack rocks with the 100-to-1 situation where there's some guy who had a bunch of what they would call powder drugs. He's in there for a year or two, he gets off clean. Some guy has 2-3 rocks of crack, he's in for 30 years. A non-violent offender. That has to stop. I'm going to get him out, and one of my goals is to release all non-violent offenders with a program, with a situation. We're not just going to be dumping prisoners on the street. But non-violent offenders, got to get them out, got to get them rehabbed. I want to get them away from violent offenders because I don't think a non-violent criminal should spend all day with a violent criminal. It's only going to potentially turn him into a dangerous person. So that's prison reform. Now, as you know, African American, Black Lives Matter, whatever else is said, the police. My dad is an officer of the law. So this is also something that I want to modify because most of the people that we feel like are getting hurt, even though statistically African Americans are not killed the most by cops, but it does happen, it's a big thing. We want to start a program where I'm going to train cops either back in official police academy. I want to send veterans back to training, and what I want them to learn is psychological stuff. I want them to learn negotiation tactics. I want them to learn all remediation type tactics. So when they show up and there's an issue, there's at least one partner that can say, hey, you know what, before we go ahead and beat this guy in the head or tie him up or get all aggressive, let me talk to him. Let me treat him a certain way. Let's approach this person a different way because they have the training to do so. And that'll stop a lot of the killings, stop a lot of the hurts, stop a lot of the Trayvon Martins and the Eric Holders and everybody else that's out there dying for foolishness. We gotta stop all that. Stop it, reevaluate the police department, partners with psych evaluation skills, negotiation skills, and training. This will resolve issues for the African American community. Next up, so this is the big one. We know what it's all about. Reparations, guys. That's what it's all about. We all know we want reparations. We all want need it. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys. I can't get a first term. Can't do it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Even though we're going for it, second term. But I can't do a first term, and I'm gonna tell you why. 80% of America is check to check. So even though we know that people that are non-black have had certain advantages, somehow rich people have figured out how to screw them over anyway. With the Democrat and Republican Party, they have robbed the rest of America. So when we go to ask for reparations, and we need approximately what? $6 to $16 trillion? It's virtually impossible to ask the average American who is check to check, just like me and you, to say, hey, let me raise your taxes to give this one particular group some money. They'll lose their minds, they'll be against it. And you want to know why? Because they feel like, well, why am I not doing great if I have all these privileges? It hampers our argument. So I think we have to be a little bit slower, more oven cooking about this reparations. So first term is all about the setup for reparations. All those plans I mentioned to you, those plans are designed to organize the money, get stuff together. I'm going to cut back on military. I'm going to start an infrastructure project to get us jobs. And these things in the first 4 years are designed to set a base in America where the average person is off that check-to-check flow. So then comes second term. When it's time to ask for reparations, now I have a country full of people that are okay. And they're satisfied. And you know what? We have a little extra money. Now, let's talk about what the reparations package is. Guys, you're not getting a check. No check. Put that out of your mind. It's a chore. Stop being so fast about it. You're not getting a check cut tomorrow. You're not getting a check cut the day after the second term. Not going to happen. Put it out your mind right now. What real reparations is. You know how we have our Native American brothers? Well, I studied what they did with them. And I think their plan could have been better, and I may even have to revitalize the Native Americans package too in compensation, but I like what they did. So, my plan for reparations is for the next 100 years. You heard me? For the next 100 years. All proven African Americans of slave descendancy through your family trees, through state records, through genetics. These things can be proven. That's how you prove it. Pay your taxes, use your family trees, find your state records, and once you are proven to be an American descendant of historical slavery, you will get a package similar to my Native American brothers. So, you know how we have large African American communities like Philadelphia, New York, places in DC. We got down south, we got a few cities like that. Detroit, there's a lot of African American, heavy African American places all around this country, coast to coast. So my plan is just like they have done for Native Indians or Native Americans, let me apologize for the term, who have locations where their tribes came from. So if you're on the land of your tribe, you know the government actually gives you lower rent because of that. So one person might be paying $300, $400 a month, but if you're a Native American on your old land, you pay $25 a month. So I think we need that for African Americans. Philadelphia, if you're African American, you live in Philly, a majority black place, your rent is super low, regardless of pay. Forget how much you make. The point is about building eternal wealth, transitional wealth, generational wealth. And the things you need off your back is things like not having to pay heavy rent, not having to pay heavy health care. That's another thing we're going to add, health care for everybody. We already got it anyway, and it's a big factor that African Americans will keep for the next 100 years. Every African American over 18 years old will be provided a card, similar to the welfare WIC EBT card, but it'll be like, I guess you would almost call it a black card, where this card gives them accessibility to health care. It gives them accessibility to low-income housing, HUD housing for everybody. I don't care if you're a millionaire African-American. You get HUD housing if you live in a majority black area that is historically black. Low income for that. Low-income business loans for people that build business in that area. So not only am I going to give tax cuts to outside businesses to come in, also, we want to have low-interest business loans for people that are from the area, that will build in the area and buy in that area and hire in that area. So another factor in what we want to do in the reparations package, next 100 years, food, housing, healthcare, education, all of it covered as long as you are a proven African-American descendant of slavery. So that's the reparations plan. First term, I can't do it. Second term is the plan. First term we set up so I can ask for it the second term, but we have to follow the previous protocols I mentioned. Now, it's time to get personal. It's time to get personal, guys. You know I love you, right? I love y'all. But on the same hand, you know, we're a difficult group sometimes when it comes to dealing with our family. So I have 2 or 3 suggestions that are outside of these policy measures because, you know, it's only but so much the government can do. I can only change but so many laws. I can only revive but so many things. I can only set up but so many stuff for reparations. I need you. I need you for the rest. So for you, my African American family, I have 3 suggestions. Suggestion number 1 is for our economically well-off African Americans, our rich African Americans. And this is only about maybe 0.5% of the community, but for these guys, Oprah, Michael Jordan, Bill Cosby's, all of them, whoever it is, I don't care who it is, in jail or out of jail, I don't care who you are. If you're rich and you're African American, I need you to sell all your residential homes that are not in African American areas. Take that money. Go back to the neighborhood you came from. Go back to where you were born. Go back to where you were raised and take whatever money you spent on that house in a non-African American place that helps no one from your people. Go back to your community and you spend that same amount of money on real estate and on business. And I'm asking one of you to do it. I'm asking all of you to do it. All these athletes, all these people, could you imagine if every athlete and successful African American throughout time that came from low income areas did not move away, but they actually stayed there and built businesses and built homes? Could you imagine how nice the African American community would be? So number 1, we want to call it Moving Day. All financially secure, rich black people, sell all your residential non-African American stuff. Keep your businesses. And look, whatever businesses you got, keep that. But residential, sell it. Move back to where you're from. Rebuild that area. You want to know why? Because it increases the tax bracket. It makes it better for education, and it helps me get our education plan working to teach the kids better and help them go forward and give them business classes. This is the stuff we need. You need to move back to your neighborhoods. Go all at one time so it can be like, I guess, Wakanda. So that's the plan. Suggestion number 1. All right. Now, suggestion number 2, which is for the mid-level African American, which is the rest of us. I know y'all like to act like, we're all rich, but reality is 80-90% of us are on the same level. Hate to break it to you, African Americans, that's the deal, right? So for us, there's a whole nother level because we can't really go out and just buy a house. We can't just start a business anytime we want, but we have to do our part. So our part and our job is we're going to start investing. So get into the stock market, do whatever you can, use great programs, and they got apps for this on your phone to invest into the stock market, even if it's a little bit at a time. Also, get your kids to start businesses. We have to have businesses as African Americans. We have a tendency to work for a lot of people, but we never build our own. You have to have businesses. Next, you have to be sexually educated. I don't know if you guys know, we have a 70%, maybe even more, out of wedlock rates. And a lot of people say, oh, it was an accident. I made a mistake. So, okay. I agree. You made an accident. You know what that means? You were not sexually educated. You should have known more. So sexual education, another big thing. Teach your kids, teach your family, teach them what their body is and how can they protect it properly. All right? So last, also, make sure you get any kind of education you can. Everybody doesn't have to go to college. Everybody doesn't go to some big-time school. If you don't want to go to college, learn something to the best of your ability. Get on YouTube. Get on the internet. Learn whatever you love the best you can, and then you monetize that love. And that is how you fix the middle class community. You know what I mean? So once again, invest, build businesses, educate yourself, get into something that you truly love. That's how you can fix the middle class African community. And number 1, I forgot to blab the last thing. Spend wisely. One thing I noticed that my cousins love, we love nice clothes, we love cool shoes, we love our beautiful hair. That still costs a lot of money, guys. It costs a lot of money. And I'm not asking you to stop it, but if you are not investing in some sort of business or stock, if you don't have your own business, you shouldn't be buying $200 shoes and $400 hair and what. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Hold on to that money. Invest it in the stock. Invest it into the future. Start a business with it. That's how you fix the middle class, and that is my suggestion for the African American community. Now, last things last and first things first, you have to vote for independent politicians. There is no more Democrat. There is no more Republican. That party is over. Neither of them care. Neither of them help you. My suggestion to the African American Party is, guys, don't vote for any of them. Vote independent, and I would prefer that we started a third party. We can call it whatever we want. I don't know, the black party, the red, black, and green. We can call it the ADOS party, whatever it is. We need to start a third party, and we should always vote for that party, regardless of the other two. Who cares who wins or loses between them? Our party, do you guys know that if our party, we can get, I believe it is a 5% vote cut in the presidential race, do you guys know from then on, they'll put us in all debates? They'll give us part of the money that's collected for election money nationally. It'll be spread between us and the Democrats, and all we need is 5%. And all you have to do is vote independent and vote for your own fam in the black party. And that's how you solve your issues politically. And guys, that wraps up my ADOS video, the Black Plan. So let's go from top to bottom. We got the Urban Reinvestment Program to get people starting businesses. We got the education to start the business classes for the children in the hood. We got the health. Ladies, I will freeze your eggs for going out there and starting great businesses. We have prison reform. Got to get the nonviolent people out, rehab them, reform them. Police reform, we're going to have a partner that is psychologically skilled to stop all these crazy killings and protests that we have. Reparations, I cannot get it first term. But second term, we're going to work, and we're going to do it like we did for the Native Americans. Reservation style, health, education, housing. That's what we're going to use for the next 100 years to fix the black community. Second term is when I want it, after the ground is set on my infrastructure project, Make America Green Again. Don't mind it. Suggestions, rich African Americans, moving day, sell your stuff, move back to the areas, buy in the places that you're from, build in the places that you're from. That is how you fix community. Mid-range and bottom-range African Americans that are struggling. We have to be sensible. Let's stop spending all our money on craziness. Invest even on small levels as best we can, like with applications like Acorn. Invest, guys. Do whatever you can. Get a little bit and build over time. It's about generational wealth. Start businesses. Be economical. Be sexually savvy. We need to get our sexual education on point. We're the statistics from the CDC are scary. That's all I'm going to say. And to close, spend wisely and politically vote independent. Vote for anyone that is not in both parties, as I am not. Mr. C, the Enforcer, Carl Lester Anthony Jr., I love you guys from beginning to end. It's ADOS family. Vote for your guy, Carl Lester Anthony Jr., for president 2020. ADOS fam. We got to get it done. I love America, but I also love you guys, and I want to help everyone. African American out. Vote for me. Write me in. ADOS.